let's kick off with technicals. Actually, I think it's good that way. We've actually explained a good. We're talking at great length. Okay, we really had a good time on the fundamental front. So let's have equally great time on the technical front as well. So on DXY, right here, you can see that since the market actually retested this particular demand zone, okay, which was not a, which wasn't really a complete mitigation in my opinion, but it's something. The market retested this particular region, and what have we seen? We've seen an elevated move, higher high, higher low, and higher high. Right here, I probably think by next week, when the market opens next week, we can even tap this particular 100.50 region. All right, potentially before maybe we're going to get a drop in the price of the dollar index. Maybe right now, okay, maybe. However, there's also a possibility of a more elevated move in the price of the dollar, provided that the war continues, the economy will remain the same, and by the time the data, okay, the inflationary data will be released this coming week, okay, we have the what? We have the CPI and the PPI coming this week. Okay, I'm talking today's Sunday though. Yeah, it's this week actually. So this week we have the core CPI month on month, the core CPI year on year coming this week. And funny enough, they're all expected to come slightly lower than previous. Okay, no, as a matter of fact, higher than previous. We have CPI year on year right here at 4.2% expectation, and the market, the previous was 3.8%, as you can see right here on the edge finder as well. Yes, we have 3.8. So the market is expecting 4.2, meaning an highly elevated CPI. If we get this, okay, I'm talking about if we end up getting 4.2% CPI on the dollar I mean, in the United States, or maybe anything above it, maybe 4.4%. Oh, the dollar is going to fly above where I actually thought it's going to fly. It's going to fly dramatically. Okay, dramatically. So watch out for that. PPI also. We are getting the core PPI and the rest. We don't really have PPI year on year here. I don't know why, but PPI, core PPI, and the actual PPI month on month, we are expecting a slightly lower number. Okay, lower reading, but this is actually not what I always consider because this can change anytime, any day. I prefer the underlying PPI year on year. Okay, I prefer that one because that one is the actual inflation that the market always kind of factor into the price. Okay, I don't know why it's not added there, but it is what it is. So moving on. So, but we have CPI year on year expected higher than previous. So the actual will be very interesting. Okay, the actual will be very interesting right now. So back to the dollar index. If the PPI came out to be very strong as expected, maybe on Monday, Tuesday, we can get something like this, or maybe a quick correction back to the zone. All right. Maybe a quick correction back to this particular region right here, a quick correction to this particular place on Monday, Tuesday, right? Or maybe a slight move to the upside. Okay, maybe market will just move like this to the upside Monday, Tuesday. But when the CPI comes up, if it's elevated and it becomes higher than expected, or yeah, come higher than expected, you will see a fast jump, okay, in the price of the dollar. Okay, if it's lower than expected, you will see a fast dump in the price of the dollar. So now, two things, right? Two ways. It can actually come back down, right? I would be expecting a correction come next week. Actually, in my opinion, I would be expecting a correction in the price of the dollar index next week. But the CPI will play a we go a long way, right? It will go a long way. Let's go to the 8 hour time frame. You can see we have a breakout, okay, after this particular consolidation. All right, this one right here after these consolidative moves, all right, we are seeing a breakout eventually. So now potentially, okay, potentially we can get a two-way correction, A, B, C, back to this region before we see before we now start seeing a more elevated move in the price of the dollar index, in my personal opinion. And like again, maybe the last time I'm gonna say this, CPI has a long way to go in the price of the dollar. All right, it has a long way to go. Elevated CPI mean more sticky CPI, more on capped and aggressive increase in the price in the US inflation. All right, CPI over. It's gonna be very tricky. Okay, it's gonna be very tricky. So, but overall, right now, I would say that I will stand. I'm slightly leaning bullish on the dollar index for now. All right, you know me. You know how we do this? I'm slightly leaning bullish on the price of the dollar. I follow the structure, right? And the structure is screaming bullish right now. Okay, even though we are still pretty much trapped in this particular consolidation, all right, you can see we're still pretty much trapped right here. Low, high, low, slight mid low, right? Mid low, we're getting a high now. So whatever happens, the market break out of this zone, yeah, no, start calling it higher numbers. Okay, we start expecting higher move in the price of the dollar. But if it get rejected, okay, if the market gets to this particular point and it get rejected, then we can start calling for the continuation of this particular consolidation. All right, we can start continue. The market can continue this consolidation. But anything outside of that, oh, it's gonna be a long ride to the upside in the price of the dollar index. So pay close attention to this. We have a long way to go. We've already covered the fundamentals and the technicals. I will be calling for higher move, right? I'll be calling for higher moves. But again, we have this potential sell opportunity right here. Okay, the price break below this particular bullish channel, right? Break below it, pull back. Yeah, we can continue the lower move, right? But that is very questionable. I am not going to be selling that anytime soon. And for fact that we are even expecting a higher inflation or an elevated inflation number. So that particular point is very interesting to take note of this particular place. So watch out very closely on the line index. I think we've actually covered and we've talked a lot about it. So that is that for me to you on the dollar index. Now let's jump straight into my trade recommendation. Let's start with Bitcoin. I closed my Bitcoin trade. It was amazing. All right. I closed it. I think I got trade out around here, maybe yesterday, Saturday. That was a whooping one ratio. I think my stop loss line around here. One ratio 3.7 RR. Right. One ratio 3.7 RR. Bitcoin was very amazing. And I was expecting this a very long time ago. It happened. It was a good one. Okay. The market slightly touched 58,000. All right. I mean 59K. It rebounded from 59K. If you ask me, right? If you ask me, you can even see right here, it stayed a really long time in the oversold region, like almost at 11.22. That is a lot of what oversold. I'm very sure some people are already selling from here. I mean, they were buying from here, they bought from here. Some people bought from here, which would be a very crazy thing to do. All right. I have some friends that actually took them ban. They got cut off. Maybe they took this buy, or maybe they got tired and they ran out of money. Who knows? Right. But anyway, it's all fun. It's the market. You get to do whatever you like. So if you ask me, what is my next call on Bitcoin? I would say let's give it a rest a little bit. Okay, we've actually made good money from it. Let's give it a rest just about a little bit. All right. But I also have some short sell and short buy on Bitcoin. So let's come back to this particular place. If I'm going to be buying Bitcoin, let me remove all these indicators. Okay. So if I'm going to be buying Bitcoin, first off, we have already seen a break of this particular trend line. All right. We've seen a break of this particular trend line right here. Okay. We also notice this is the 1 hour time frame, excuse me. So we also can see that we have a divergence right here. Okay, which is very good. I must tell you that we have a divergence right here. So in my rule, in my playbook, we all need to see a break and retest of structure, or let's just say a change of character, or what some people will call a market shift. Okay, and you can see we're already seeing that. That is already happening. So the call now would be for me to do what? To wait for a correction. Okay, I want to see a corrective move like this, and I'll be looking for buy on Bitcoin. And now my target will be this particular other block right here, and this particular other block right here. All right, those are going to be my two particular targets on Bitcoin. We are talking about 66K region and 74K region. All right, maybe I'll be selling from here, and maybe I'll be selling from here. I don't know yet, because my ultimate target for short is still 55 to 50,000 region on Bitcoin. All right, so now this is a short-term trade. Okay, swing trader, I'm not going to suggest this. Okay, but for a short to mid-term kind of trade setup, you can look into this buy. Okay, if you get a pullback all the way back to like 60,000 region, yeah, you can look for buy opportunity for a short counter trend buy. And lastly, let me plot my Fibonacci as well. Okay, let me plot my Fibonacci right here. I think we should have, yeah, 50%, 61.8% Fibonacci, somewhere around here. Now this is tricky, okay, because now okay, let's make a little bit adjustment. I would say wait for 50% Fibonacci. Let's let the market actually sweep some demands. Okay, let it sweep some impulsive buyers. So maybe around that 60,500 region. Okay, 60,500 region. Look for buy around here. Okay, that will be good. All right, but if you're buying from here right now, I wish you all the best. So if you get these 60,500, 60,800 and the price of Bitcoin, I might intraday it. Okay, I might just take a quick buy. The target will ultimately be at that 64,000, 66,000, and slightly 67,000 region and the price of Bitcoin. So if you're interested in that, please, please, and please go for it. All right. And that's going to be that from me to you today. So back to the swing plan. I've got nothing on swing for you on Bitcoin unless we get those particular big correction. If we get that big correction, then I can say that yeah, we can look for a potential buy. And if I'm going to be selling this, I would say a 50% corrective move, back to this particular trend line. I would say somewhere around this region. Yeah. Oh, where is my sell? BOV sell. Good. Somewhere around this region will be where I'll be looking to short BTC. Okay. Let me delete all of this. We've already broken it. The market didn't even wait long, just violently broke them. So potentially, all right, if you're following me, potentially I'll be waiting for ABC corrective wave back to this zone. All right, an ABC corrective move, something like this. A, B, C, then drop. Right. That's gonna be my play in the price of in BTC. I want to say in the price of the BTC. That's very weird. All right, this is gonna be my play in BTC. I would say that a correction back to 72,000, just exactly what I said in this other one that I was talking about. 70,000, yeah, 72,500 actually, or 72,600. Yeah, I will be looking to short Bitcoin from there. Now you could buy, right? Don't forget we said 72,000 this particular region as well. So we talked about this earlier that we can also see markets coming back here, and we look for short. And let me clone this. Okay, that's one, and this is the second part. All right, this is the second part. So two things in the price of Bitcoin moving forward. Okay, we can short from here, we can short from there, right? But the counter trend trade has to be taken from this particular region at the bottom here. So that's the plan. All right, but I'll be selling from this particular spot at 72K to 74K thereabout. So now take this with a grain of salt. Okay, it's not fully done yet. It's still very neat and very young. So take close attention to that. Ethereum, I share the same sentiment on that. Ethereum gave me around 1:5 RR. Okay, 1:5 RR. It was a very beautiful one. I also got trailed out yesterday. And the other one that according to the signal given in our group, I think we got 1:4 RR around here. Okay, which is the ultimate target. We got 1:4 RR. But personally, I was able to take 1:5.5 thereabout. It's a very good one. I mean, it covered a lot of ground for me, and that is good for Ethereum. So now the plan remained the same as explained in the prior. In when I was talking about BTC, this video is already getting longer, but I think it's needed, right? So maybe we're going to be looking for a potential short, right, around this region. Let me bring this down. There's no point in using something different. Let me use this guy. All right, so we're going to be looking for a potential buy right around this corner, right? So a potential sell from there, excuse me. So if we get a corrective move all the way back to this particular spot, A, B, C, then we can start looking for sell around that 2,000 region. Okay, if you get Ethereum back to 2,000, yeah, I will be looking for short opportunity. If you also want to buy the same plan that I just shared on Bitcoin with you, I don't have Ethereum here. If I want to short trade, if I want to counter trend or maybe play a scalp or play an intraday, I do silver, gold, and Bitcoin. I don't do any other thing. So I'm not going to suggest a counter trend trade on this one because it's not very volatile as Bitcoin. So I would not suggest it, but you can just wait for this particular move and sell Ethereum all the way back to where it came from. All right. The target still remain 1,003, 1,002. I know some people might not like what I'm saying, but it is what it is. We just took a very good profit selling this when everybody thinks it's never going to happen, but it happened. So we'll move on. So, anyways, USDCHF on the other hand, this one is smacking me in the face right now. But it's all fun, it's all good. So I keep holding this. This is the last one and the very low risk trade. I'm only risking $200 on this one. And when I share it in the signal page, I told them it's a low risk trade, a very low risk trade. So it could come down, right? It could go up with what I just explained or what I just analyzed on DXY. there's high chance that it's gonna go up. So it's already a gone trade. I've already taken my mind off this one, anyways. So that's just that. Those are the three trades I have. I only have USDCHF running right now. My Bitcoin and Ethereum already closed, which I am very grateful for, and I'm quite happy for, happy with. Let me put it that way. So for now, I would say that I am just gonna sit on them for now and see how they play out. Okay, for the setup, for the counter trend, and for the swing trend. Okay, so that is just the trade right now. So the last one is the only one I'm holding for now. On to the next. So let's talk about some trade setup and trade recommendation. I told you earlier that there is a potential for a counter short on Aussie dollar. Excuse me, I had a brain freeze right there. It happens to the best of us, right? So on this one, I would say I would suggest a correction. Okay, a sharp correction, and then a drop back to 61.8. Then we now take a buy. Okay, so that's the counter trend trade I'm talking about. I hope you get that because it was very fast to explain. Okay, let me actually use this one. I think this was better. So if we get a corrective move like this, my mouse is playing again. If we get a corrective move like this back to this particular zone, you can take a short and then target 61.8 region right here as your ultimate target. Take your profit, put your stop loss here, take your profit. Then buyers can step in and ride Aussie dollar to the upside from there. But ultimately, I'm only looking for buy opportunity on Aussie dollar. Unless, now this is where it gets very interesting. Unless we get something like this, a corrective move, as explained earlier, and instead the market drops harder, right? If it drops hard and it break below here, then personally, I will just wait for correction and then I'll start selling. Okay, right here will be where I'll be selling Aussie dollar. Whatever happened in this box, okay, all the way to the upside, I'll be looking for buy. Come down here, I'll look for buy. Break to this region, I'll look for buy. But anything that make Aussie dollar break below this particular region right here, and that should be 0.7000, and that makes it break below that key zone. All right, right here, I will be looking to short Aussie dollar. So take that with a grain of salt. Run through your analysis and setups, and let's see how we can make Aussie dollar moving forward. In my opinion, I just shared my own take with you. So the rest is up to you. So take that again with a grain of salt and water. Moving on, Aussie Kiwi. Don't forget we had a short plan on Aussie Kiwi, a counter short. And right here, we've seen divergence on the daily band, right? Yeah, we've seen divergence, very interesting divergence on the daily band right here. And the plan is to see, we've already seen a change of character. We've seen divergence, we've seen a break of trend line, right? We've seen a change of character. Now I'm waiting for candlesticks. Okay, I'm gonna short this. Maybe by the time market open tomorrow, okay, I will short this, put my stop loss slightly above here. I don't want to hold this one longer, and I want 1 to 3 or something, risk to reward ratio, and I'll be done with it. Okay, it's just a counter trend trade, in my opinion. Nothing too long to hold. Okay, it's still very bullish. We can get the market back to this particular region, and then what we see next is another rally to the upside. Okay, don't expect. I'm not expecting to see all this corrected. I just want to get drop. I take my profit, and then probably be gearing up for a buy on Aussie Kiwi. So that is just that on that. So if you're interested, please pay close attention to Aussie Kiwi. It looks good. Aussie Swiss, the same setup, the same plan, but this one I will cautiously join in because right now, Swiss is also very strong. Okay, Sweden is also pretty strong as the market as we're currently in a risk on sentiment. So I would say this one looks good for a potential short. All right, but Australian dollar is also not very weak. All right, let's take a look at the economic surprise meter. Right, we didn't actually cover this earlier because we're talking about dollars. So Australian dollar, where is you? Okay, Australian dollar is pretty weak actually, and Swiss is pretty strong. So that is a good one. Kiwi is also strong, while Australian dollar is weak. That's also very good. Aussie is weak and dollar is also strong. Again, that's why we're having a short on Aussie dollar, Aussie Swiss, and Aussie Kiwi. Okay, because Aussie is relatively weak and dollar is strong, Kiwi is strong, Swiss is strong. You get the trick now. If you don't get that, I would say don't forget about it. Go and study it. Moving on. So a counter trend trade on Aussie. All I'm waiting for now is a decent break of this particular trend line. We've actually not seen this trend line completely broken yet, and that is alarming and concerning. Right. When we see this particular trend line successfully broken, then a change of character is what is next because we've now also seen a change of character. A change of character like this, then maybe a correction, and then we take a sell. All right. The same play that I explained on Aussie Kiwi. That's going to be my plan. CAD yen, I'm looking for a buy opportunity on CAD yen. As you can see, the trend remains bullish, highly elevated. No point in going against it. Okay, and that's just going to be my play. I don't know how to put this particular channel, so let me just remove it. Okay, but based on the chart in and of itself, looking at the structure, the demand, the supply, and the key zones, okay, everything still looks pretty much intact. The trend remain bullish, and I'll be looking for that period. All right. Now the buy entry can be maybe immediately inside this particular bullish channel, which will be very tricky because you have to be taking on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and that is not something I love to do. Or maybe on 4 hour time frame, I can look for buy right at this particular demand zone. Okay, on CAD yen. So pay close attention to that. If the price now break below here, pull back, I will take a sell back to this zone where I'll be looking for a buy opportunity later. So right here is where I'll be looking for short. But if the market fails to break below here, right, then a drop to this region will call for me to buy. So anyhow it goes, I'm definitely going to share it in our Discord server, which I will advise you to join if you can, if you want to. All right, so that is my take on CAD yen on the daily band. Okay, let's go back to the 8 hour time frame actually. Yeah, it all still looks the same, pretty cool. All right, looking for buy opportunity across bar. That's euro dollar. Yeah, euro dollar again, counter short. Okay, or let's say a short term sell, and then we look for buy again. And we're gonna look for buy right at the bottom here. My mouse is playing a lot of chicken right now, so I've been meaning to change the mouse, but I want to get a better one, and the delivery is going to take a long time, so I have to I'm stuck with this particular one. Also very old, very very old, about 5 years now I've been using this mouse. It's been a very beautiful one. So you can see I'm attached to it. Moving on. I want to talk about the counter short, or maybe a short-term sell on euro dollar. First off, you can see this particular momentum, right? We have this particular thing we call lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We have a new lower low. So we have a little bit of a demand here, or let's just say a key zone, a support that we're going to be expecting to be turned to what? To be turned to resistance. And then we can sell it all the way back to what? 1370, right? That would be our target. If we get this particular correction, we should sell euro dollar on the 2 hour time frame. Actually, I think that looks good in my opinion. So this is the channel, right? Let's put up the channel. Let's make it make more sense, right? So this is it right here. Okay, we can look for a potential correction, right, back to the mid range, okay, of this channel, and then we sell it. Okay, something like this. Or maybe ultimately we tested this particular resistance. Okay, this particular trend line, we have resistance, resistance, now resistance. Okay, we sell it down there. So a sell right there on euro dollar. Then we look for buy at the bottom here. But right now, I already closed my buy. I think we to close our buy around here last week, around here. So it was a break even kind of close, which is very good because of this particular drama and the shift in the risk sentiment. I saw it very early. I think it's on Wednesday or Tuesday last week, and then I just threw the notification in the room that everybody should close that euro dollar trade because it's a very tricky one, and that's why fundamental is very important. Okay, it prepares you for possibilities. All right, it prepares you for possibilities. So I will keep this on the hourly time frame alone without the daily. So that's gonna be how this is gonna look like for now. So that is that on that. So let's go to the 12 hour time frame. Euro dollar again. That counter trend trade is still very much important to wait or look into. Right, something like this. Let me actually draw it out and then I'll move to the next one because my time is already fast spent. Okay, so right here, all right, potential correction like this, higher high, 2, 3, ABC. Then we look for a sell on euro dollar. So pay close attention to this if you're interested in it. And I think the same thing goes to pound USD. Okay, pound dollar, actually, I think pound dollar is gonna rain down more. All right, it's gonna rain down more and more and more and more, possibly. Okay, as long as this particular this particular resistance, okay, or key zone still holds the price, okay, it's potentially gonna rain down some more. So I would say that, oof, okay, I'm looking for my Fibonacci. I want to drag this a little bit. Let me just delete this actually. Oh no, let me put it on the daily only. Let me put it on the daily and the weekly only. It's better off there. Okay, good. So on the 4 hour time frame, I would suggest, okay, I would suggest that you look into something like this. on euro dollar, we have this particular region here, right? So this is going to be very snippy. Okay, it's going to be a snippy trade, maybe on a 1 hour time frame. Yeah, like I said, snippy. Okay, on 1 hour time frame, yeah, doesn't look completely bad. Okay, I'm not sure if Fibonacci will support this kind of trade actually. I don't think so. Right. Yeah, I don't think so because we are not going to be waiting for the correction back to 50% Fibonacci now. Just a quick retest of the key zone, and you take that shot. Right. If you're interested in this, I think this is how I'm going to short sell it all the way back to this region right here, where we'll be looking for buy later on the daily time frame actually. So that is the plan on pound dollar. If you're interested, you can see this. The structure also looks very bearish. Right. We have lower low, we have lower high. Now we are getting we are trapped in this range for a while, right? And then the market now broke down. So maybe a quick retest of this, then we get a fresh lower low. So it's gonna make it lower low, lower high, and lower low, which we can also call these something like excuse me, we can call this A, B, and C correction before we now look forward rallies. All right, on pound dollar. And what am I talking about? This is the reason I'm calling for rallies on pound dollar. Right, you can see the trend remain bullish on the daily time frame. So I wouldn't want to do any other thing than just look for buy to this region before a potential sell off. Okay, so that's just the call. That's why I'm still waiting for buy. But on the hourly time frame, why not just look forward? Just look for a potential buy. All right, just look for a potential buy, and that is gonna settle everything for you, I believe so. Feasibility. Let me remove the daily and the weekly and the monthly. So that's gonna change everything for you. But overall, I'm still looking for a buy on Aussie dollar. Actually, I'm looking for a potential buy on pound dollar. Excuse me. Okay, I'm looking for potential buy. Once the market retested 61.8 up back to this region right here. Yeah, swing trade. I'll be looking for buy opportunity. Counter trend or intraday short sell. Okay, so let's go to NZD dollar. My time is fast spent. I want to talk about pound yen, but that one requires a lot of analysis, so I don't think I have the time for that. On Kiwi dollar, again, we can look for buy. All right, provided that this particular region here hold the price very much like that, because that is the last lifeline for buyers. Okay, for buyers literally for now. Okay, the next lifeline would be around this particular bottom. Okay, that would be the next lifeline for buyers. Market drop like this, then we can look for buy. Okay, I'm not in a buy yet on NZD dollar actually, because of the shift again that I was able to spot very early. Okay, so the reason why I short Swiss yen, I mean dollar Swiss, because I know Swiss is also very strong. So it was more like a conflicted move because Swiss is strong, dollar is strong now. So let the most powerful one win. But we know that ultimately Swiss yen or dollar yen, I mean dollar Swiss is gonna be bearish ultimately. So it's now between which one is the strongest. Okay, that's why I took that Swiss. I mean dollar Swiss. Okay, but this one I'm not in any other dollar pair, and the reason being dollar is very strong right now. So better to just stay awake and watch out very closely. Okay, so on the 4 hour band, any counter trend trade, I'm on dollar. Yeah, Kiwi just dropped. Like I was buying, you know me, I was buying right here, around here. I took a buy, took some very good profit though around this region, and then it just dropped like oof, too hard, too ash as well last week. But again, it's part of the game. There's no divergence for me to even cap a buy around this region. So I'll just wait for maybe further drop. Okay, then maybe we look for divergence around here. Okay, then we look for buy. That's gonna be my play on Swiss on dollar Kiwi on Kiwi dollar Kiwi dollar right now NZD dollar. So that's my play on this one for now. ABC. Let's see how that goes. Dollar yen counter trend trade. Now, while every other currency is running fast, I mean, we had euro dollar at 90 plus peep. Okay, 90 plus peep. We have this EU, we have GU at roughly around, I think, 110 peep drop since that NFP release. We had AU at roughly around 110 peep as well. Australian dollar for that matter, 110 peep. We have NU at what? At roughly around, where's NU again? Maybe around 90 p. Okay, plus and minus. Okay. And then we also add, I think these are the major major AU UCAD also. I think UCAD was not that very harsh, but we have UCHF, okay, at roughly around 70 pip rise, okay, and then all we had from UJ was 20 pip, or let's say 30 pip. And on a normal day, you just should be giving us, if EU can give us 90, GU can give us 110, you just shouldn't be giving us nothing less than 130 pips or maybe 200 pips. All right, 200 pips. But what we got instead was 30 pip displacement. And that is telling you that, yeah, there's intervention coming up in Japan. It's coming. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it is coming. We're going to get something like this again. Okay? A move like this is going to happen again. So you might want to get ready for that, but I don't want it to happen just about yet. I want to see a break below here, a pullback, then the intervention channel comes in, so I can sell that 400 p kind of move, and I will just stay happy for the rest of my life. So I'm still waiting for this counter trend trade on dollar yen. So let's take attention to it. I don't have any buy or bullish plan on this one yet. On the daily, it is at a 2024 high, okay, a 2024 resistance right here. So ultimately, we can get a retest of this particular 160 region, then the market drop. Okay, intervention can kick in the way it kicked in that time. So what happened here could repeat itself here again. So let's watch out for that. Okay, that's how I see dollar yen for now. If any of that did not happen, I'd rather just let it go. Okay, so silver. On Edge Finder, silver is reading bearish, right? And I would say we follow Edge Finder today because dollar elevation, dollar bullishness. So I would say that the correction is fine. Okay, a corrective move is fine and is very well expected. Something like this, a correction back to this region, and then we see the sell-off continues, right? And the target will be around that 60.91 ounce. Okay, so I want to see $60 per ounce on silver as time goes on, right? And you can see this particular move, right? We have something like this on silver. So that's the trend line on silver. That's the channel right there. So potentially we can get that particular move. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then we now get drop. Okay, that particular drop all the way back down here, and maybe from there we can get the rise or maybe some more drop all the way back to what $54 per ounce on silver. So I'm not gonna sit too long on this because my time is already fast spent. But as far as silver is concerned, I'm leaning bearish now and extremely bearish. So the target remain for now, target remain at $60. I mean $61, $60 per ounce. So watch out for that. As far as gold is concerned, our Dr. Gold, right? Gold is retesting the support, and that is beautiful, right? So I don't know how to approach this one. Guys, I want to buy gold, but at the same time, I think we could get more short on gold. So if you ask me, I would say that maybe something like this. Okay, a correction, and then go drop further to the downside right here, maybe below 4,000, maybe below 4,100, right? Maybe around that 4,090 or 4,060, and then we now get a rally. But where I draw the line now is 4,400. I mean 4,000 literally on gold. Okay, my buy. Don't forget last week also I said the buy I took right here. Okay, that jumped up, right? That jumped up as if that's the end of life, right? That jumped out as if that's the end of life. It jumped right here. And I was able to trail out around here. I told you it could be a what? A lucky trade, okay, or an early trade. And it ended up being a lucky trade. Okay, because ultimately gold is bearish structurally. Okay, structurally, especially on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, gold is what? Gold is bearish. So I mean it's bearish. All right. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So for now, if I get this corrective move to retesting 44.20, I might look to short gold, but I will be more focused on silver because it gives a better structure than gold, right? And I've explained that earlier. So that would be my call on silver and gold for now. More bearish call, and we see how that goes. Lastly, on WTI, before I finally bounce, WTI I'm expecting a drop, right? I'm expecting a drop. This is a triangle, right? We have the market retesting this place, then we have A, we have B, all right, we have C, we have D. Now we're expecting our E back to this region. All right, this looks like a flat, okay, a triangle, A, B, C, D, E. Then we can now look for buy on WTI. And again, we talk about oil price. The drama continues, right? The drama continues. And the United States oil reserve is still the supplement of oil to all this drama now. Okay, everyone, it did the supplement, the obvious supplement for now. So now the plan is to expect a further drop, right? A further drop in the price of WTI, possibly to this region. Okay, possibly to this region right here. Then we can look for buy opportunity. Okay, and that should be $76 per barrel. All right, that's $76 per barrel region, $76 region. Yeah, I'll look for buy on WTI from there. Anything outside of that, I'll probably take a counter. I will take a short sell, maybe to that region actually. Okay, because it looks good to short right now. I think so. All right, maybe something like this. Short sell, guys. Short sell. Something like this. A break below this region, a pullback, then we short it. All right, we short it. But it's gonna be a slow one. It's gonna be slow, sluggish, and as usual. But it's still ultimately bearish to me. Okay, if I'm gonna be focusing on this 2 hours, 4 hour time frame kind of move and trading this particular overall, overall triangle pattern. Okay, so I would say that yeah, I will be looking to short it. So that's my plan on WTI, guys. That is where I'll be stopping today. I'll see you next week. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Have a good one. Bye for now.